All right, I'm doing a quick video here about the Black Templar releases, kind of the new models that are coming out. This has me extremely excited. I'm a kind of a voracious Warhammer collector. Lots of armies, including plenty of different Space Marine armies. But I single out kind of my first armies with a little bit of extra nostalgia and kind of love. And in 40K, really, truly the first army that I, painted and played a lot competitively was Black Templar. And so, over the years, there have been a couple supplements here and there, but they really have not had much of a kind of a dedicated support. They kind of come and go. And at this point, a lot of the models are fine cast or old metal ones. And so I'm absolutely thrilled to have kind of a re-release in kind of a Primaris upgrade. They've crossed the so-called Rubicon Primaris, and I'm very, very happy. I don't normally go in on the accessories and dice and things like that during a launch. This time I probably will. I'm thinking, for those armies that really, truly mean something to me emotionally, why not kind of give that extra bit of love? So, oh my goodness. There's so much now here. Now, I would almost rather have preferred there be kind of new special characters, but I guess if you're just going to do a resculpt, it is what it is. I do think that the new resculpt for High Marshal Helbrecht is absolutely great. It's kind of more of the diorama style, which is very much kind of the new trend. I would, again, I have mixed feelings about those types of things because on display it looks really nice. Obviously, narratively, the Black Templar fought a lot of orcs during Armageddon and other major battles, but I often kind of think, like, what if I'm playing Necrons and I have this orc on the base? But those are very minor things in my mind. But I think just kind of a stunning redesign based upon the kind of the classic artwork. Just fantastic. Very kind of imposing figure. Love like the little servant guys that are kind of cleaning his sword and carrying his weapons. Very, very interesting kind of lord aesthetic there. And then the same with the kind of the recast of High Chaplain Grimaldus. Very cool. I've always loved the servitor that's carrying the Aquila. I just think that's a very kind of tongue-in-cheek kind of aesthetic to Jesus carrying the cross, and I've always had a passion for that one little particular model. But obviously, I have the older versions of these, so I'll have to kind of juggle having duplicate models of some sort. But they have an honored place in my collection, and I will certainly kind of enjoy having those. All right, so the other, the biggest launch here is that new start, that Army launch box. Now, if I'm to be critical, I don't think it's much of a quote army. 13 models is a little bit of a it's a little bit of a stretch in my mind. You basically just get the 10 plus the Emperor's Champion, the new Marshal. Both of those look fantastic. The Emperor's Champion, again, I have 4 different versions of Emperor's Champions, or 3. Well, this will be the 4th. And I've always loved those models. The 25th anniversary of, must have been the 25th anniversary of Games Workshop. They came out with a limited edition Emperor's Champion model, and I think that was the first model I ever had to ask my dad for his credit card number and try to order it online because it was a limited release. Absolutely, again, these nostalgic old memories kind of popping back, and love the Emperor's Champion. Love this little new resculpt. Very much like the old one. Again, if I have any critique, I wish they'd maybe have experimented and kind of did a little bit of a different stance, rather than just kind of almost a exact recast, that different version with a little more detail. But I'll take what is given to me here. It's Black Templar. I absolutely love it. And the High Marshal, again, really cool model. I love that little skeleton on his backpack, and just wonderful, wonderful. The Redemptor Dreadnought in that, again, I feel like maybe they could have replaced that with more models of some sort, but I'll be honest, I don't normally go in on the special collectors army books. I don't play enough to kind of warrant that for the most part. But in this case, with that old traditional John Blanche artwork, I'm kind of all in on that. Again, 3rd edition, that box set really has a high nostalgic feeling for me, and I think back to those memories, and that's really what launched me in this hobby. So I'll gladly pay that premium in this case. Look, and then of course there's new Castellan models. These are just kind of right off the bat new. But this one here is really just absolutely fantastic. Again, based upon that John Blanche artwork. Love the shoulder pauldrons with the kind of the skull motif. I don't know. I can't. I mean, it's very static. It's a little chunky and clunky, but again, that appeal from my past really just makes this so cool in my mind, and I will definitely be picking this one up. Incidentally, a lot of kind of diversity components in this. There are clearly some models that are different skin tones, kind of reflecting the fact that the Black Templar are kind of this large Space Marine chapter. They're actually the largest Space Marine chapter. They don't really have any specific homeworld, so that makes sense. And I love the fact that Games Workshop has kind of increasingly just rolling out these types of different options as they promised to do a few years back. And then we have the new Sword Brethren. The old Sword Brethren are a really cool set. I have a few of those, but they're fine cast. I don't think they were originally metal. I think these were just basically created as fine cast during that time period. And kind of, again, a really nice resculpt, reimagine of these, slightly different options. Some of the pictures have different options to what we see here, so it looks like you can maybe swap out some of the weapons, but again, very cool. I'm thrilled. If this is basically all they get, just like, 1 or 2 dedicated squads, a few extra characters, I can roll with that. Hopefully the rules are half decent. I jumped on Hedonites of Slaanesh before I saw the rules, and I somewhat regretted it. We'll see if that happens here, because I really do hope to jump on this and to work through it pretty quickly. I'll probably finish my Night Hunt I'm working on, switch over to Necrons, quickly do that army, and then probably dive into Templar. And then, of course, the last kind of major component of this release is this upgrade and transfers box, and this has a lot of people kind of jealous because there are upgrade sprues for Blood Angels and Dark Angels and things like that, but they're fairly limited. They're just, a handful of pieces, and this is a much more extensive rollout. One of the things that they often say about the Primaris is that because they're new, they're a little bit less adorned with relics and artifacts and things like that. And so it's interesting to see the Black Templar get a little more of that treatment. It's a little more unique. It makes sense for the Black Templar aesthetic. And, so many options here. It's a really bountiful selection. I absolutely love the banner. The name there is basically inspired more from Roman history and kind of part of the walls of Rome. After one of the Roman emperors. And then the little demon skull there. All these have really cool backstories, which I thought was really interesting. That's like a alien psyker that they've basically been trying to kill, and apparently they managed to do it because they have this little skull here. Again, really cool. I wish there was more helmets. I wish there was more pauldrons myself. I don't tend to, I can't, I don't know. There's lots of shotguns in there. And every time I see the rules for shotguns, I generally cry. So I wish there's a few more kind of more generic things rather than just bizarre relics and things. But I will definitely pick one of these up, and I'll probably be using some of the transfers that are in the army set and getting my force together pretty quickly. So all in all, I mean, I'm thrilled by this. I really hope that it pans out and the army just has some sort of competitive edge to it, if not, you know, top end. But I really do love Black Templar, and I hope to be picking this up this soon. I'm really quite happy that the Army box has a guaranteed buy-in. I think that's a really smart move by Games Workshop, so the scalpers are just not as much of an issue, providing you have the funds. And this happens to be a great month for me. I have the Warhammer Plus voucher. There's that little Sergeant Castius up for grabs for the 1 millionth customer promotion. So I was really happy that this goes on pre-order this month because I need to save my money. And I didn't want to have to roll over in November when both those options are not available. So thanks for listening. Hopefully you're a fan of Black Templar or can appreciate my enthusiasm here. And I'll see you in the next video.